Brad Williams, Frugal Finance, bond pricing, continuation, par bonds. A bond price equals its face value. Its yield equals its coupon rate. Often, the price of a bond and its face value are not the same. The situation would occur, for instance, if the level of interest rates in the economy fall after the bond is issued. So, for example, suppose that a 1-year 10% coupon bond was originally issued as a 20-year maturity bond 19 years ago. At that time, the yield curve was flat at 10% per year. The bond has 1 year remaining before it matures, and the interest rate on 1-year bond is 5% per year. Although the 10% coupon bond was issued at par, $1,000, its market price will now be $104,762. Since the bond's price is now higher than its face value, it is called a premium bond. What is its yield? There are two different yields that we can compute. The first is called the current yield. The annual coupon divided by the bond's current price. We have $100 because we're earning 10%. Current price is 104.7 equals 955. Remember, this was issued long ago at 10% coupon bond. Now we're at a yield of 955. Why? Well, because the price 104.7 higher than the par price. Always keep in mind two things: the original coupon rate and the bond's final price always equals $1,000. Even though this is selling today at $1,047, at maturity, you're only getting back $1,000. Therefore, if you thought because it said 10% coupon, you're not going to earn 10% because you paid higher than the $1,000. The current yield overstates the true yield on the premium bond because it ignores the fact that at maturity, you will receive only $1,000, $47 less than what you paid for the bond. To take account of the fact that a bond's face value and its price may differ, we compute a different yield called the yield to maturity. The yield to maturity is defined as the discount rate that makes the present value of the bond stream of promised cash flows equal to its price. The yield to maturity takes account of all the cash payments you will receive from purchasing the bond, including the face value of $1,000 at maturity. In our example, because the bond is maturing in 1 year, it's easy to compute the yield to maturity. Yield to maturity, coupon plus face value at maturity minus today's price divided by today's price. So you have a yield to maturity of 100 plus 1,000 minus 1,047 divided by 104,762 equals 5%. We can see that if you use the current yield of 955 as a guide to what you'll be earning if you bought the bond, you'd be seriously misled. When the maturity of a coupon bond is greater than a year, the calculation of its yield to maturity is more complicated than just shown. For example, suppose that you're considering buying a 2-year 10% coupon bond with a face value of $1,000 and a current price of $1,100. What is its yield? The yield, its current yield is 909. Current yield, $1,000 divided by 1,100, 909. As in the case of the 1-year premium bond, the current yield ignores the fact that at maturity, you will receive less than $1,100 that you paid. Yield to maturity, when bond maturity is greater than 1 year, is the discount rate that makes the present value of the stream of cash flow payments equal to the bond price. We have this formula right here, where N is the number of annual payment periods until the bond's maturity. I is the annual yield to maturity. PMT is the coupon payment, and F of V is the face value of the bond received at maturity, not future value. Keep that in mind. The yield to maturity on a multi-period coupon bond can be computed easily on most financial calculators by entering the bond's maturity as N, its price, as PV with a negative sign, its face value, its coupon as payment, and computing I. So in this particular case, we have $1,100, which you paid for it, and the two cash flows and bond at maturity. So we're going to look at this. We're going to discount this back right here. If you look, we're going to use this rate function. Rate E74 would be this discounted rate. E72 as N, its price, as PV with a negative sign, its face value, its coupon as payment, and computing I. In this particular case, we have $1,100, which you paid for it, and the two cash flows and bond at maturity. We're going to look at this. We're going to discount this back right here. If you look, we're going to use this rate function. Rate E74 would be this discounted rate. E72 Oh, I'm sorry. We're looking over here. 74 to C72, 100, D71, 11, 1100, $1,000. So the yield to maturity is 4.65. So if we look here, I hard coded it here. 2, 100, 11, what have you. These are just some notations here. Don't worry about them. The yield to maturity on this 2-year premium bond is considered less than its current yield. These examples illustrate a general principle about the relationship between bond prices and yield. Don't get confused. Don't get caught up in a salesperson selling coupon where they should be selling yield to maturity. In other words, if somebody's touting some outrageous rate that you're going to receive, they're selling the coupon rate. They need to be selling the yield to maturity. So stop and ask them, Mr. Mrs. Salesperson, give me the yield to maturity on whatever you're trying to con me on. Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Thanks for watching.